So guys, this is some big news that's come out today that in Congress, they have found a massive ring of groups in Congress that are linked to anti-Trump judges and elitists and donors. So these people, including Chief Justice Roberts, have been linked to a group of anti-Trumpers of all these Democratic leftist rogue judges and are being funded by outside organizations that are not even in the United States. Like, this is bad, everybody. This is like, if this was put on a scale of 1 to 10, of 10 being bad and 1 being it ain't that bad, you know, it doesn't matter, it's a 10. We have to show you today is that all this stuff that's being unveiled in Congress, they're going after them. We're finding there's links to people that are tied to Hamas. There's people that are tied to just overseas money. And what I love is that now that we are finding this out, action is being taken. So we have Pam Bondi, who says, who said the deportation flights will continue. These rogue judges are not going to stop Trump from protecting America. And we are moving closer and closer to exposing every single one of them. And there's now going to be another round of mass layoffs in the whole administration of the federal government. And it's about dang time. Like, I'm so fed up with, we knew it was there. The only reason we know and it's being exposed is because of Trump. And thank God that he won the presidency, and thank God he wasn't assassinated in Butler, Pennsylvania, or at the golf course. Because if he was, we wouldn't know any of the stuff that you're about to see today. It is that bad. We also have where Senate Democrats are launching, check this out, a new whistleblower portal for public and private workers to dish on Doge. So the very thing that's exposing the corrupt, the fraud, the waste, abuse of the federal government, you now have Senate Democrats that are trying to push this new whistleblower program for people to dish on the very program that's exposing the people that created it. You can't make this stuff up, everybody. This is just, it is so far out there. And when I show you this, you're going to be like, this can't be real. It's real. Like, I'm bringing the receipts, everybody. It is mind-blowing how corrupt these people are and how far they're willing to go to protect their backside from being caught and exposed. We also have where, good news, things are moving in the right direction. Remember when Trump talked about those gold cards? About selling them for $5 million a piece? Well, we're getting numbers that there's about 1,000 that are being sold a day. So we're talking $5 billion in pure revenue for the federal government to pay off the debt from an amazing businessman's idea of a gold card. Guys, we got a ton of things to tell you today, to expose for you today over this corrupt government that, I mean, it's our government. It's us, but thankfully we're finding this out to hold them accountable. I want to say thank you to all of our subscribers, to all of our viewers. We appreciate you so much. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let us take care of you with the top news. And thank you to all of our members of the channel. Guys, y'all are amazing. If you want to be a member, the link is in the description. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Tomorrow, we'll be making our big donation live on stream. And I'm so excited, guys, because it's just a blessing to be able to give back partnering with you. And if you don't mind doing us a favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, we work our butts off to give you the best news, guys. And what we're going to be showing you today, it's just getting more real and real. That everything that we thought, guys, was true. Everything.
Democrats are on the hunt. They're taking a break from looking for a new leader and are now just focusing on finding a victim. If Trump's a tyrant, there must be victims, right? They're having a tough time finding one. They're scraping the bottom of the victim barrel, and they found this guy, Badar Khan Suri. Badar teaches at Georgetown, and Trump's trying to deport him. Democrats are freaking out, but what they won't tell you is Badar's tied in with terrorists. His father-in-law is Hamas. The State Department says Badar was actively spreading Hamas propaganda, and he has close connections to a known or suspected terrorist. Not the type of guy we want in the country. But a Biden judge ordered the government to not deport him. We don't feel bad for these people. We have enough nutty professors, and no one's buying their manufactured victims. So let's try being villains instead.
Wow.
They're staging a massive protest on March 29th, targeting every Tesla showroom and charging station. They call it the Tesla Takedown. But don't worry, they say it'll be peaceful. But they said the same thing about the Summer of Love. Actor John Cusack says the goal is to terrorize Elon.
I think everybody should really enjoy taking this guy down and this stock down. And because of the example it will set, the only way to stop that is if the people who have the money are afraid of us. We have to make them really afraid. And what's happening now with Musk is making them very afraid. And that's a good thing.
Jasmine, not to be confused with Davy Crockett, will be there too. And she's bringing birthday cake.
I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes, I'm going to keep screaming in the halls of Congress. I just need y'all to make sure that y'all keep screaming in the streets.
They're not going to stop until Tesla's dead.
And he thinks of himself as this black hat hacker that's broken into the government and socially engineered his way into the treasury, and he's going to abscond with all the data. It's an obvious data heist. We need to be very clear about what our demands are, about what our bright lines are, and that we're not going to stop until Tesla is done with Musk.
Okay, John. If Tesla tanks, sure, it'll damage Musk, but it'll also devastate thousands of American workers, not to mention your 401k.
To punish that car company that is 100% made in America, made by people living in America, Americans rely on those jobs. Like, maybe we criticize another thing.
Right.
Like, what is your goal? That we shut down those factories and those Americans lose those jobs? That makes you feel better about your gripe with Elon?
Democrats are rooting for Americans to lose jobs, cars, and money, and they're cheering on Trantifa.
Some people are not content to just scream about Elon in a high school gym. They're taking to the streets or the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video shows multiple cars in flames. Police say the attacker used Molotov cocktails. It's the latest in more than a dozen instances.
Do y'all hear this sick crowd? This is CBS, guys. When did we ever get to a point in America where we would be cheering on the destruction of an American company and products and things like this that could put people in harm's way? This is how the left is cheering this. You can't make this up. There is literally something wrong up here with these people. This is dangerous. This is not democracy. This is not how America is run. But yet, they want to so bad have something destroyed they have no clue about. The very person that's literally exposing the fraudsters, they want him to go down. This is shocking. It's sickening. It's disgusting. But this is what happens when you have people that are brought up that are brainwashed, that fighting the bureaucrats is bad.
Of arson and vandalism targeting Tesla.
The same suspect shot more Teslas with a gun. Tesla Cybertrucks were set on fire in Kansas City, and earlier this month, shots fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Cybertrucks on fire in Seattle.
Wow, you guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism, huh? Wow.
Tesla's
Petty acts of domestic terrorism, and they're all cheering.
terrorism's already more violent than January 6th, and liberals are clapping. It's all fun and games until you get 20 years.
When you set a car
Put
on
them
fire,
in 20 years.
You should go to jail. You're a criminal. You're beyond being stupid when you do that. You're going to go to jail, and you now have a government that just got their mandate. They can't wait to find idiots that do this. You're going to spend 5 to 20 years in prison. If they get them on terrorism, which I think is a stretch, they will have no parole, no shortened sentence, They'll rot in hell in prison for 20 years. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, that's okay.
Attorney General Pam Bondi just announced federal charges against 3 Tesla terrorists. Daniel Pounder, who lit himself on fire while trying to burn down a charging station. A trans activist, Lucy Nelson, a.k.a. Justin Nelson, planted explosives at a Tesla dealership. And Adam Lansky Molotov'd 8 Teslas while carrying an AR. They're each facing 2 decades behind bars. Bondi's also
Guys, if you appreciate this justice, that these people are going to face justice, hit that thumbs up like button. This is the truth. This is the stuff we want to get out there because it is sickening. You don't do this stuff. This is not America.
Investigating who's funding these attacks. She says they appear to be organized. Doge has hit a nerve and has Democrats acting like the mafia. You keep catching us stealing and your cars are going to keep catching on fire. Doge isn't going anywhere.
Today, I'm signing a memo directing the termination of over $580 million in DoD contracts and grants. There's an HR software effort that was supposed to take a year and cost $36 million, but instead it's taken 8 years and is currently $280 million over budget. Another batch of DoD grants, $360 million worth this time. Decarbonizing emissions from Navy ships, $5.2 million on something that would diversify and engage the Navy. Another $9 million at a university to approach equitable AI and machine learning models.
So we're going to keep finding more fraud and we're going to keep putting more Tesla terrorists in prison and their money men. And according to liberals' own logic, you could lock up liberal politicians for inciting the mob. But John Cusack, he looks like he's already in prison.
Guys, let me show you this. The craziness that's going on. You cannot make this up, guys. Look at this. Democrats open a whistleblower portal aimed at Doge. So the people that are exposing the fraud, cutting out the waste, cutting out the abuse, now there's a whistleblower program to whistleblow on the people that are exposing the fraud. Like, the logic doesn't make any sense. They say, well, they're affecting families and they're cutting precious benefits, things like that. They're cutting wasteful spending overseas. They're cutting contracts that don't put America first. DEI contracts that go against America, and Trump's executive orders that are all America first orders. Like, this type of stuff, in my wildest dreams, I would never have thought this would actually come to be. But this is literally what's happening right now. And not only that, they've uncovered something else that's pretty bad, guys. When you look at Chief Justice Roberts, who is fighting against Trump in every single thing that he's doing, well, there's actually a linkage between him and a secretive anti-Trump judge group. So this group right here that he's a part of, this is it right here, is all towards fighting Trump. How can we stop Trump? Doesn't matter if we like, even if we like his policies or not, even if it's okay and it's not that bad. This is, look, Roberts is listed as an honorary bencher of the Middle Temple. It's also allegedly linked to a Soros-funded legal fellowship. Well, what do you know? Every bit of this, guys, is just mind-blowing. Because as we are always trying to, let's move forward, let's put Americans first, let's take care of Americans, you have this, the craziness that's happening. And like, on March 29th, they're supposed to be protesting, but you know it's going to get violent because it always does now. You can't have peaceful protests now. March 29th, all the Tesla superchargers and dealerships, listen to that. Generally, it's not unruly, but fires have been started. This is MSNBC, y'all. Like, you can't make this up. Like, these people, I just wondering, he's bought a Tahoe that gets like 9 miles to the gallon. What happened to saving the earth? What happened to global warming? What happened to preserving the earth? Yeah, now that we hate Musk, we don't care about the earth anymore. When's the last time you heard about global warming, everybody? When's the last time you heard about the Democrats saying we need to drive electric cars, sustainable energy? It was all a graft. It was all a scam. These are a bunch of charlatans. Guys, the violence is honestly, it's kind of getting crazy. Like, let me tell you this. I drive a Tesla. I do. And I love it. I've always supported Elon for a long time because he is an immigrant who came to America, busted his butt, came from nothing, and created the greatest car company in the world. In America. And now people hate him. And when I drive, I literally have people that'll honk at me and give me a thumbs down. And I'm like, what was that supposed to do? What am I supposed to be sad now that you don't like it that I drive a Tesla? Like, this is how crazy these people are getting. Gene Kopich, thank you so much for the super chat. He said, Congress needs to redefine what a protest is. If their goal is to put fear in the opposition, that is terrorism. The FBI needs to pay John Cusack a visit for inciting terrorism. 100%. I love that. Y'all show Gene some love in the chat. What a great point. Because it's getting more violent. It's getting more inciting violence. All the while, look at the screen right here. Favor of deportating illegal immigrants. Republicans 90%. Democrats 35%. This is like we have a very horrible ideology of thought process that is happening here. People are moving in the wrong direction, and the media is okaying that. Certain Congress and people are okaying that. And all it's doing is putting America in a worse spot. Listen to this.
Okay.
Oh, guys, and if you appreciate this truth and this reporting, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button for us, we appreciate you.
We're going to get back into this also with President Trump. The stuff they're doing day to day, like the executive order on China to cut off China from our capital markets, like another executive order signed yesterday about minerals in the United States using Wartime Powers Act. This is anytime you see Wartime Powers Act used, Peter Navarro's hands in back of it. Another executive order. You talk about terrorism. I'm going to get back into Brett the economist, not Brett the elected politician. Because they misplay the tariffs all the time. And this is what's so phony about Bernie. You can't be populist if you're going to be open borders, AOC. Populism has to start with protecting American citizens and American workers, baby. So don't come down here and all the happy talk and all you want is open borders and you support the 10 million illegal alien invaders. You went down, you crying at the border. You can't rewind this stuff. You can't just look away from that. That's central. Of course you have to restrict the labor pool so that the whole world can't come and compete against American workers, whether it's HB1 visas or all these visa scams to compete against the tech workers. American citizens on their home soil, when it's a home game, shouldn't have to have the world in their country driving down wages for them. Answer that. Answer that, Bernie. So Bernie Sanders used to be one of the toughest guys on immigration ever until you had to play ball with the woke Democratic Party. This is the whole thing, the cultural wokeness. You can't just put a little teeny thing of populism. Oh, the billionaires. You created the billionaires. Let me repeat this. The billionaires and the bailouts, and look, Obama got it dumped on him. He ran as an anti-war populist, okay? The whole lead up, and it wasn't just Bush, although they had a huge problem, it was the entire apparatus was game for themselves. And when it collapsed, they bailed themselves out. The 2008 collapse, they bailed themselves out. Did you get a bailout? No, you didn't. Most of you, or a lot of you, got wiped out. But they also simultaneously did a deal in Silicon Valley with the apartheid state, or made it even more of an apartheid state than it was, to give each one of these nascent oligarchs complete monopolies. That's why Joe Scarborough said, we support Lena Kant. We are neo-Brandeisians. We believe that one of the great dangers in the world is concentration of private and government power. Why? I don't know. We've studied history. This is what the American Revolution was about. The American Revolution was about a group of folks here, probably 20%, that had an idea about a worthless landed aristocracy that had corrupted commons with crony capitalism and payoffs, controlled commons. And one of the ways they did it with monopolistic power to get people like the British East India Company. You ever heard of them? The Boston Tea Party, whose ships were it on? The British East India Company. It was monopolistic, corporate, private, and governmental power. The great, brilliant, and courageous, because remember in the revolutionary generation, they not only called the shot, they played the shot. They stood up and said, hey, we get this. If we're going to break off from this empire is just at its beginning stages. Clive and what they were doing in India. You had India on the Eurasian southern part of the Asian landmass, and you had all of North America, because they had already defeated the French and Indian Wars, of which the colonists were all the troops, essentially, a lot of them. Got the first idea of taking over Canada, right? General Washington as a colonel. The French were basically defeated on the Plains of Abraham. It was their deal, the British deal, and they broke off because the foresight of the revolutionary generation speaks down through the ages to us today. It's the exact same thing. The exact same thing as today. Monopolistic corporate power tied to government, tied to an unapproachable government or a representative government that can be bought off. Commons was bought off. That's why Commons wasn't a solution. And that's what they knew. And they were prepared to risk their lives and to fight an 8-year war to win. And take nothing but defeats, and most of the time, up until the very end. Because it ain't over if you don't quit. It's not over if you don't quit.
Wow.
Our revolutionary generation and the formation of the country teaches us so much about mankind and the frailties of mankind and how you set up a system that can take all the foibles of mankind and have at least try to have as perfect a system as possible. This is what down through the ages, this is why this country, it's the structure of it, but also how it plays to human nature. And that's where you come in. You are this new revolutionary generation. And I don't care if you're in your 60s or 70s or in your 20s. It's your thinking that's brought it together, your spirit that's brought it together. And you could see that in 14, in May or June of 14, Donald Trump, this billionaire from Queens in Manhattan, there was this media star up in New Hampshire with these Tea Party people on a Saturday in May, and then the run-up to Dave Bratt's and just watching all those Tea Party. Dave Bratt's right. Dave Bratt was on fire. He was a man on fire, and nobody picked it up. Politico, The Hill, none of them. None of your betters, none of the geniuses. They all missed it. They all missed it.
And guys, again, every single day, Trump is winning. America is winning. Look at this. United States Customs and Border Protection terminated the following 21 contracts totaling over $4.9 billion. Our borders are stronger than they have ever been. We're cutting all the spending. Like, Trump is doing good. He's killing it for America. And it just blows my mind that what you're about to see next, it all boils down to the money. Stopping the gravy train. Stopping all the inside kickback money. That's what's making them mad. That's why they're fighting so hard. That's why they're trying to take down Elon. And I would love, let me know your thoughts. I would love to see them actually put armed security guards, maybe even pull in the National Guard to these Tesla dealerships and make sure that nothing happens there. Check this out. And if you don't mind, if you appreciate this, guys, hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
He called me when I was on the campaign. He's like, Catherine, you got to come back to USAID. We gotta shut it down. So I went.
What year was that? Sorry.
That was 2020.
Wow.
So because I had spent 3 years at the State Department, so I had a lot of experience there. And he was assembling a team for the second term because, the first term, there were a lot of issues with personnel. Unfortunately, Trump didn't know who to trust. So he brought in a lot of people that he thought were good, but ended up not being good. So John called me and asked me to come back and be the White House liaison and staff the agency with people that were actually going to execute Trump's agenda. Unfortunately, I showed up November, 6th of 2020, the day after the election, and there were so many people already there in place that just didn't want to change, didn't want to leave, and we just didn't have the top cover we needed, unfortunately. So we weren't able to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. But
so there was an effort in 2020 to dismantle USAID.
Well, it was, yes, absolutely. But we didn't have, the climate wasn't there. There weren't people from the outside like you guys talking about all this crazy stuff. So we didn't have the momentum that we have now to do what we wanted to do.
Wow. So that says to me that when Elon started talking with Trump, Elon Vivek, about Doge, which I can't believe he actually got that name through. It's amazing. It sounds like Trump already had this intention. With the funding of, I did read that there was this coordinated advertiser boycott against X, where they were literally pressuring all these companies to drop their ads. And USAID was funding some of those NGOs that were pushing for that. Sounds like Elon got pissed, talked to Trump. Trump said, we're trying to get rid of it. Elon said, let me come in and gut it. And that's why top of the list when he gets in was to target this institution. Seems like Trump was going to do this with or without Elon.
100%.
I think
So I had a private investigator run every dollar that the United States government has sent to Guatemala in the last 4 years. We've sent $797 million to Guatemala in the last 4 years. And 400, I think,
$797 million, guys. So this is what blows my mind. This is almost $1 billion. This is $750 million. And it blows my mind that people seriously think that there's no fraud, waste, and abuse, and we just need to make government bigger, and government's the solution, and there's nothing they do that's wrong, and we just need to keep supporting them and giving them more money. Give me a break. We are exposing them every single day with our support for Trump and his administration.
7 million of that went to USAID directly, and then a ton of other NGOs that are structured under USAID. He did a favor for me. He went all the way back to Obama in 2012, and we've given the Guatemalan government roughly $4 billion.
I'm going to pause real quick, and I'm going to tell you why I keep saying USAID. Because saying USAID is like saying anti-fascist. It is a manipulative term.
Sorry, yes. I've been saying it for so long, I'm used to it.
Right, but this is what happens. When I turn on The Daily Show, they say Trump is shutting down USAID. People don't know. They're talking about an institution, the Agency for International Development, and they think Trump is literally taking water away from dehydrated little children in third world countries.
Not a chance.
Right, and so when people... USAID is the same thing as saying Antifa. They go, aren't you anti-fascist? And you're like, bro, they're going around beating people with clubs, okay? I'm opposed to what that is, but they're opposing, shut up. Then when they come out and they're like, but you really are opposed to USAID? I'm like, the institution, USAID, yes. Foreign aid we can have a discussion about after maybe we secure our borders. Anyway, I digress.
So I was actually at the State Department yesterday visiting some of my former colleagues, one of whom is running the whole reorganization. And so Secretary Rubio issued some waivers, because there was a stop order on all foreign aid going out the building, right? But he issued some waivers saying that if this is life-saving medicines, or if this is critical, mission critical, or totally in line with our national priorities, then, we'll review them and keep them going per the review. And there's been so much insubordination that some of these employees are actually refusing shipments and deliveries of the goods that we're sending just in spite of whatever's going on. So here they are crying, oh, Trump's shutting off all of our funding and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, my friend Pete was like, no, actually, they're not doing their job now. So we can't get these things to wherever they're going. That's how bad it is.
It's what we saw when Trump shut down the DEI stuff. Mm-hmm. You saw that they're like, okay, well, now we're not going to teach about the Tuskegee Airmen. And it's like, whoa, listen, we're not saying don't tell people about important things that happen in history. We're saying stop being racist. But to spite the machine, these scumbags are pulling moves like this.
And saying that he was going to cancel Black History Month was another move from them whenever he canceled DEI.
But wait, didn't they shut down identity months? I heard that.
The DOD, yeah.
He still issued an order to celebrate Black History Month on February 1st, though. But there wasn't anything said about that when it actually happened by the mainstream media. But the fear mongering was there, just like there's fear mongering going on for anyone taking the buyout from Trump to quit and get paid for 8 months. You hear Senate Democrats and on CNN today about how there's no guarantee that these people actually get paid on the 8 months if they take it now, and if they accept the resignation and the buyout by the Trump administration, that they're on their own. And so, although 40,000 people have accepted it so far, there's still a lot of 60,000 now, which is good, but there's still a big fear-mongering campaign that you have no legal recourse to collect your money if he doesn't follow through and pay it, which is absolutely ridiculous. They're just trying to...
But that's not what they're saying. The Democrats said, there is a chance if you take this, you will not get paid.
Right.
What they are saying is, we intend to shut the government down in March, once we have the ability to block a continuing resolution, and we will block your pay if you take this deal.
Wow.
So on the surface, once again, they're
going to do it.
Yes. They are playing these are the games that are played. We have to be very careful of saying things like Antifa or USAID or you might not get paid. They're trying to insinuate that Trump would block the money. No, Trump's a deal maker. Mm-hmm. He says you're going to get paid till the end of September. The Democrats then came out and said, we will shut the government down if you take this deal. They are looking these government employees in the eyes and say, if you take Trump's deal, we will. You over.
Wow.
Yeah. No, and that's what it's really going to come down to.
Guys, that is so sickening. It literally bothers me that this is the true colors of the Democratic Party. This is the true colors of these people that don't care about you. They only care about their agenda. They only care about lining their pockets. They only care about looking the part, not actually being the part. And it blows my mind because never have we had so much transparency with the government, so much exposure of all this. There are so many news outlets, and hopefully this continues to get shared and shared and shared so that everybody can see the true colors of the Democratic Party. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much. I want to say thank you so much to Patrick Trebet for the super chat first timer. Let's go. I love it. Superhero GIF. And Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the same GIF. I love it. Let's go. Y'all show them some love in the chat, as well as OG D-Dog for his support and being a member here. Guys, y'all are the best.
I mean, this is another issue that we had the last time around. So when we were finally in office, right, I was at the State Department, reviewing the budget that we made, because you make it internally and then it goes through OMB, Office of Management Budget, and then OMB officially sends it to the Congress. And at the time, Senator Bob Corker was the Senate, the chairman for the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and he hated Trump. So every time that we wanted to cut something, he would just plus it up again. So this, I think, is going to be another issue that we're going to see, because obviously the Congress is in charge of funding things. So it's going to be interesting to see how Trump's team handles this issue this time around, because I think they're a lot more seasoned. The momentum is there, like I was saying, and I think the pressure needs to continue because these members of Congress, at the end of the day, they want to be popular. They want to get funding. They want to, win their elections. So if there's this drumbeat and pressure that's kept on them, we may have a chance to get some of this through.
I just want to point out,
guys, that's the most important thing, is that we've got to keep pushing. And I love it. Gene Copage with the same superhero gif. Let's go. Y'all show Gene some love in the chat. The things that Trump is doing, and this is one of the most important things. So Congressman Brandon Gill, who you're seeing on the screen, is filing the impeachment inquiries, all these things to get these rogue judges out of there. But this is the most important part. He said activist judges know that even if their rulings get overturned on appeal, so it doesn't matter even if they're wrong, at least they stop Trump. The process could take months or years, but burning away valuable time from Trump's presidency, stopping him from executing on the mandate the voters gave him. So again, left unchecked, the process itself is the judicial coup. That's why the Supreme Court must step in and Congress must act now. Because again, if every action that Trump does can be stopped by a judge and then the proceedings take months to years, what's the purpose then of the president? If they can just be stopped just like that, with, sorry, I can't snap with my left hand, by a rogue judge. Thank you so much, Sandra Mario Enzi. Let's go. Said Joel, put your Tesla in the garage if you have one. Yes, I do. Yes, and every single night. Thank you so much, Sandra. And Sherry Garcia for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show them some love in the chat, guys. Y'all are so amazing. We're going to have an amazing donation tomorrow for the Boys Ranch to help these kids get back on track. But I'm telling you guys, remember how there was all these talks about Michelle Obama coming in and running for president, things like that? The Democrats have nobody. And that's why they're getting as crazy as they're getting. Check this out.
Bad news for Democrats. Michelle Obama won't save you.
I was so glad when we got out of the White House. So when people ask me, would I ever run? The answer is no. Not only am I not interested in politics in that way, but the thought of like putting my girls back into that, that spotlight when they are just now establishing themselves. It's like, okay, I think we've done enough. Question asked and answered. Never going to happen.
The Democrats have been leaderless since November 5th. They hoped opposing Trump would juice their base, but it's not working. And they're getting chewed out when they go home for town halls.
Mr. Schumer has done what I think the most destructive thing that he could possibly do as Democratic leader in your body.
I'm happy to answer a question if you
so who's
have a
gonna-
question. None of this feels like you're fighting for us, for Colorado, for our kids, for our grandkids.
Ooh. Wow. The base wants Democrats to rage like Bernie, AOC, and Jasmine, not to be confused with Davy Crockett. But moderates say the squad's just grandstanding.
I can't just chain myself to the White House and become an activist full time because you and others here are going to call me for things that you need. All of those things require me to be more than just an AOC. Everyone you mentioned has a lot of words, but what have they actually done to change the situation with Donald Trump?
Democrats can't storm the Capitol because they said you're not allowed to do that. So Bernie and AOC are going on tour, taking socialism across the country.
He's handed the keys to Elon Musk and is selling this country for parts to the richest people on the planet for a kickback. I want you to look at every level of office around and support brawlers who fight, because those are the ones who can actually win against Republicans.
The wealthiest people have never, ever in the history of our country had it so good. No, we will not accept an oligarchic form of...
Bernie, do you not realize that the past 4 years were by Biden? That's what I would literally love to yell at him. Biden just left the White House, so if they've never had it so good, it's because of you. Because of your party. That's y'all's fault.
Society where a handful of billionaires run the government.
Tampon's also on tour. He claims he's doing town halls in red districts, but that's a lie. Tampon got caught deporting Trump voters from his crowd. That's the new playbook. Pretend like you're reaching across the aisle. Tampon's become a laughingstock.
I look at all these Democrats, particularly Governor Walz right now, and all I see on the Republican side is mockery. Now, there was mockery of Trump, and Trump turned out to be a great candidate. But Walz, in particular, has become just the subject of MAGA derision. I look at Walz and how Republicans are treating him, and I just say, I don't get what he's up to.
Newsom and Tampon are the new face of the party. It's been a rough start. Gavin got caught mailing burner phones to California CEOs with a little note, call me if you want to talk. And Tampon's chugging Mountain Dew before riffing to libs in theaters that only hold 800. Democrats better pray there's more fresh blood, because the old guard's stuck on stupid.
There is a P-tape or an equivalent of a P-tape. I cannot tell you it's exactly a P-tape, but the fact that the Russians, that Putin specifically, has something on Trump, absolutely.
When in Charlottesville, when they rioted against the Jews and wanted to harass or even burn down a temple, he said both sides have merit.
We're still doing P-tape and find people hoaxes? Maybe Tampon does have a shot.
Guys, let me tell you this. This breaking news that I like, what I love is that on our show, I'm constantly making sure that I'm checking to give y'all the most breaking news because it matters. Like making sure that we keep y'all informed. That's what this channel is all about. Check this out. But I do want to give some love to Mr. Tracy J. Norby, who said, share your donation update. True Life News, I want to be here. Maybe surprises for you tomorrow. Love all y'all doing, brother. Let's go. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love. Tomorrow's video that we'll be doing at 11 a.m. Central Time. In that show, we will be donating to the charity, the Boys Ranch, to help out young boys that are in distressed just lives. They don't have any family. They don't have anybody to go to. And before they get put into the system or get into jail, these people come beside them and help them out, and it's amazing. That's who we're donating to tomorrow. And thank you so much, Scott Matthews, for the super chat. We got. Remember, from Woodbury Hill Studio, they did the painting. Here, let me grab it for you real quick. You know what? I just got to show you guys because we're ordering a custom. We're ordering a custom. What's it called? Framing for it. But this right here was painted by Woodbury Hill Studio. This is going back there. So that's why we have the flag the way that it is. But we thank you so much for your support. And thank you so much, Geoff Paul Freeman, for the super chat. Guys, y'all are so amazing. Trump came out and said Elon Musk will be briefed by the Pentagon about the USA's top secret plans against China should there be a war, according to the failing New York Times. One of the worst and most purposefully inaccurate newspapers anywhere in the world. Sorry, guys. Let me fix my lighting because when I moved out, it got a little dark. Let me get some. There you go. Okay. He said, their fake concept for this story is that because Elon does some business in China, that he is a very conflicted and would immediately go to top Chinese officials and spill the beans. Ratings challenged fake news CNN immediately picked up on this ridiculous and false story, which is probably libelous, and went heavy with it. Fortunately, nobody was watching Margaret Hagerman, the really dumb scammer who constantly writes about me for the Times using anonymous, made-up, non-existent sources. That's what they always do. They never cite their sources. She led the Russia hoax only to realize that she was duped and got it wrong. She owes me a totally discredited Pulitzer Prize for her bad reporting. The fake news is the enemy of the people, and Elon is not being briefed on anything China by the Department of War. Guys, do you realize like the transparency? This is what I love is that every single time they try to come out and call out Trump on anything, he comes at them. We show the facts, we bring the receipts, and that's what matters. And thank you so much, Adeline Starr, for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Adeline some love in the chat. Guys, y'all are so amazing. Check this out.
Just to scream at them and boo the Republican. This has been happening even more in deep red districts around the country, which begs the question, are these left-wing radicals actually constituents of these members? And according to Chuck Schumer, they might not be. Apparently, these are organized protesters acting in a coordinated strategy to disrupt town halls and create a false impression. In other words, they're kind of like cheap fake videos, to quote the legacy media mob. Oh, and all the judges that have been blocking every part of Donald Trump's agenda, the agenda that he promised to fulfill as president if you elected him, these unelected judges, well, Schumer says that's all part of the plan. Take a look.
We have people going to the Republican districts and going after these Republicans who are voting for this and forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences. This is a long, relentless fight that we fight every day. We did put 235 judges, progressive judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump time after time after time.
All right, so what can Republicans do to stop this? Missouri Senator Josh Hawley has an idea. He plans to introduce legislation to eliminate nationwide injunctions like the ones countless judges have been using against Donald Trump. Earlier tonight, the president offered his support for the idea, writing on Truth Social, quote, "Stop nationwide injunctions now." Senator Josh Hawley joins us now with more. Legislatively, you can do that in a heartbeat, can't you?
Mm-hmm. We sure can, Sean, and we need to do it. Listen, right now, Donald Trump is subject to 15 separate nationwide injunctions, blocking his ability to remove trans individuals from the military, blocking his ability to cut off federal funding for hospitals that perform trans surgeries on minors, blocking his ability to clean up USAID and get rid of all the corruption. This is ridiculous stuff, Sean. Congress has authority over these lower courts. We ought to pass a law immediately, and I'm going to introduce the law to do it, that will eliminate these nationwide injunctions and stop this abuse.
Every Republican in the House and Senate needs to support this bill. Congress, that means the House and Senate, you have the authority to strip jurisdiction of the federal courts to decide these cases in the first place. What's so frustrating about John Roberts to me, if you look at the 1948 Supreme Court case on the Alien Enemies Act, for example, that court upheld that law. Number one, 4 presidents had used it. Number two, that decision also said there is no judicial review for the president's decision. Why would John Roberts then weigh in on this?
You know, I don't know the answer to that, Sean, but I do know the answer to this. What these courts are doing, these district courts, is wrong. It is unconstitutional. I want to be real clear. To me, this isn't about Congress taking away power courts currently have. This is about Congress reforming and stopping the abuse. These district courts, these are the entry-level federal courts. They do not have the authority to go out and to say, Mr. President, you can't do this. We're going to bind everybody nationwide. They don't have that authority, Sean. Congress can make that clear. We need to do it right this second. If we don't, here's just a fact. If we don't, in Trump's first term, there were 64 national injunctions issued against him. 64. In Obama's entire term, only 12. So you can see where this is going. We've got to put a stop to it.
You know, I've been on talk radio for 35 years, and Rush used to refer to callers that were set-up calls that had an agenda, that had talking points given to them as seminar callers. That's how he would refer to them. And we see the same thing now emerging at these town halls. Clearly, Chuck Schumer and other leaders, they're sending people to town halls of elected Republicans to create a false impression that the American people are not with them on cutting out waste, fraud, and abuse by getting rid of the Tren de Aragua gang and deporting people that didn't respect our laws, border, and sovereignty, those people that want the budget to be in balance, those people that want law and order, those people that want energy dominance, those people that support the president. And now they're going to go crazy over the fact that the Department of Education is gone. That's what the American people voted for, Senator. What advice do you have your fellow senators and congressmen when these people show up?
Well, I would just say, listen, recognize these are AstroTurf folks, and Chuck Schumer said the quiet part out loud. They are sending people into these districts. Sean, let's face it, the Democrat Party these days, they're not really a political party anymore. They're just a theater troupe that is funded by George Soros. And that's what we're seeing, theater actors who are showing up at these meetings, pretending to be constituents. We're not going to fall for it. We're going to deliver for the American people.
And if there is violence, you can blame the likes of Chucky Schumer, who's desperately clinging to power because his position with the radical left is not very strong right now. So he wants to seem the most radical. Senator Hawley, always great to have you, sir. Thank you for being
Y'all
with us.
see that, guys? Again, it's like this is so unprecedented. This is not normal what we are seeing. And guys, look, I got to show you this because one thing is we got our boy Scott Jennings who is on the CNN, and he's like the conservative voice, and he literally lays into him because it's getting ridiculous. It's going too far. Thank you so much. What's new for the super chat? Let's go. He said, America is beginning to rise higher. Dems can't argue that fact. 100%. And Lay Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all can see my response on the for the shirts. It's going to be like 4 to 5 weeks, guys. Since we are a brand new customer to this company, we're not like their top priority, but I will keep you updated. And we will make sure that we ship those out as soon as they get here. And trust me, when they get here, guys, I'm going to show you all the boxes. So that way you can see. But these are top quality shirts. I'm so excited and thankful for everybody that supported us with purchasing one of those. But check this out, guys, because I'm telling you, it's getting to the point where conservatives are saying enough is enough. Like, stop gaslighting people. Stop rooting for violence. Stop trying to tear down American companies. Listen to this.
That video looks like terrorism to me. I mean, it's obviously an organized, coordinated effort, however people are communicating with each other, to do this to people around the country who chose to buy a Tesla at some point in the past, many of whom I'm sure are Democrats who bought them in the first place, all because their entire political worldview is ruled by their emotions. And that's the American left right now. It is one angry mob after another willing to take things into their own hands, up to and including keying, firebombing, and otherwise vandalizing cars and car dealerships and charging stations. It's outrageous. It is terrorism. People ought to be put in jail and left there for a very long time and be taught a lesson.
So when they do it to a Tesla dealership, it's really bad. But when they do it to the halls of Congress, we should pardon them. Is that your position?
No, I've never. I don't
Are
support,
we okay with
I know you haven't been around for a while, so let me educate you about my position about January the 6th.
I'm so sorry.
Let me educate you.
You don't need to patronize
you don't need to. You don't need to be condescending to me. So let me
saying-
educate you about my position. You want to attack me? Let me finish.
Let me finish.
Let me finish.
Let's do this January 6th and then
near it. I'm sorry you're getting emotional.
I'm sorry you're a condescending person who hasn't been paying attention to what I do.
Okay.
Stop, guys. So here's the issue. I didn't support what happened on January the 6th and was one of the first Republicans to call it out. I don't support the pardons. I have repeatedly, just like my friend Ashley here, said that no violence in our political system is acceptable. But this right here, what's going on with a guy who helps our country, who runs successful companies, who doesn't have to be doing this, and now one of his companies is under systematic terroristic threat and violence all over the country, and people seem to be laughing about it or fine with it. It's outrageous. I've sat at this table and had people say, we should cut Elon Musk from the government totally. He rescued our astronauts today. Is that what we want? The treatment of this guy is outrageous.
Yep.
These people who are doing this need to be found, put in jail, and made an example of. That's my point.
Anyone who commits violence.
So you hear that, guys? This is like, it's getting real. Thank you so much, Warrior Woman, for JC for the super chat. First timer. Let's go. Y'all show Warrior Woman some love in the chat. Guys, y'all are killing it today. And what I love is that, again, too, we're bringing the truth, guys. Pam Bondi's fighting. Check this out. Attorney General Pam Bondi defies federal judge, says deportation flights will continue. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep fighting because the judges, it's judges against Trump administration now. And some of these injunctions could take months or years to go through the appeals process, but what it's doing is it's stopping Trump's executive orders. And we can't let that happen. Things got to change. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching. Guys, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe, hit that button. Let us take care of you with the top news. And if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, guys, and doing us that favor, we truly appreciate it. We really appreciate the blessings that y'all are to this channel when you give. And tomorrow we're going to be giving to the charity live on stream. You will see me. Guys, we are giving thousands upon thousands of dollars. With this next donation in the past 6 months, we will be giving over $30,000 from this channel because of you, because of your support, to charities that are making a difference. Thank you so much, Linda Foe. Let's go. Let's get some fireworks. Thank you so much for your support. Said Joel, I thank you for all you do for us. I don't talk much in the chat, but I love each and every one in the chat. I can't wait when all the American people watch AOC, Schumer, Pelosi, and the rest of the idiots, they get arrested. I'm dancing in the streets of Alabama. Let's go. Hey, y'all show Lynn Defoe some love in the chat. True OG of the channel. Guys, it's all y'all make it happen every single day. I'm here to serve y'all. We need to hear that more from our administration, from the politicians in Congress, because we don't exist without you. And this channel, guys, we're past 165,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, Mr. Tracy J. Norby. Let's go. And it's all because of you guys. I remember starting this channel, we had 0 subscribers, and now look at us. And we're growing. We're bringing the truth. You're getting to see so much of the breaking news. Remember, 2 shows a day, Monday through Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. And we just want to continue busting our butts and serving you. And want to give some love to Donna, Gene Copage, Patrick Trebet, OGD Dog, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, Sandra Mario Enzi, Sherry Garcia, Scott Matthews, Gia Palfreyman, Adeline Starr, What's New, Lay Lewis, Warrior Woman, Lynn Defoe, Elizabeth Rancor, thank you so much. Said Trump needs to invoke martial law before this gets any worse and people start getting hurt. This corruption is way too deep. I almost forgot, guys. Look, I know our show is going a little bit longer than normal. I've got to show you this. Y'all show them some love in the chat. So Trump has actually enacted wartime authority. This is big. So now he's just enacted wartime authority. This is breaking news. Check this out.
All right, President Trump signing an executive order to expand the production of critical minerals right here in the U.S., reducing a reliance on foreign sources. Fox Business's Edward Lawrence has this at the White House. This is becoming a more and more fascinating story. Edward, where is it going next?
Yeah, this is fascinating. The president's using the Defense Production Act to speed up the production and mining of rare earth minerals. The president invoking this wartime authority because he realizes the U.S. needs these critical minerals going forward to survive in the future. This was an unexpected step that was taken by the president yesterday. The new mines and processing centers for critical rare earth minerals in the U.S. have been bogged down in regulations and restrictions. At the moment, China controls about 60% of rare earth mining and about 85% of the processing worldwide. These are elements in everything from fighter jets the U.S. makes to cell phones that we all use. That and China's overt actions worry many Republicans.
Businesses, universities, they leverage students in America. They've tried to leverage our own military through bribes. So they are very aggressive in this area, both in a covert way as well as different cyber security hacks.
So the president also making this need for the U.S. part of a peace process between Ukraine and Russia, the foundation of that peace agreement, a joint economic venture for America and Ukraine to partner over energy, infrastructure, and rare earth mineral projects.
Let's go.
And one of the things we are doing is signing a deal very shortly with respect to rare earths with Ukraine, which they have tremendous value in rare earth, and we appreciate that. And we spoke yesterday with, as you know, President Putin and President Zelensky, and we would love to see that come to an end.
So the president trying to make the U.S. rely on itself for those critical needs, not anyone else like China.
Isn't that amazing? Guys, Trump is winning. We are winning. I love you all so much. Appreciate you for your support. We couldn't do this without you. And just remember, guys, we are here to support you and serve you. We love you. Hope you'll join us tomorrow whenever we do our donation live on stream. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.